In this video, we will be discussing how to set up and solve word problems using the definition of complementary and supplementary angles. So here are a few hints to get you started. Anytime it's referring to an angle, we are going to let x represent that angle. Then, if it asks you or if it says anything about finding the complement of an angle, we are going to use 90 minus x to represent that, because by definition of complementary, we know that the two angles must add to 90. So to find the complement of an angle, we would take 90 and then subtract whatever x is from it. Finally, we are going to use 180 minus x to represent the supplement of an angle, since we know that 180 minus x would give us the supplement of whatever angle x is. So in example 1, it says that 30 more than means addition. So 30 plus half the supplement of an angle. So I would write 1/2 and then make sure you put in parentheses 180 minus x, since we said that that is going to represent the supplement of an angle. Anytime you see the word is, that means equals. Twice the complement, so 2 times, and don't forget to put the 90 minus x in parentheses. Now the rest is just algebra, so I'm going to go ahead and distribute. So I'm going to rewrite this equation as 30 plus 90 minus 1/2 x is equal to, and now I need to distribute the 2, 180 minus 2x. Now I'm going to combine some like terms on the left-hand side, and I'll get 120 minus 1/2 x, and that's equal to 180 minus 2x. And then I'm just going to continue to solve, so I'm just going to skip ahead here so that you can kind of get to the final answer. So when you do 60 divided by 1.5, the final answer for x is x equals 40. But the question is asking us to find the supplement of the angle. So remember that x represents the angle, so to find its supplement, we need to take 180 and subtract 40. So the final answer to question 1 is 140 degrees. Okay, let's try question number 2, because this is slightly different. We have two supplementary angles in a ratio of 5:4. So remember, for ratio problems, we always put an x with the two numbers. So I'm going to write it as 5x plus 4x. And since these two angles are supplementary, that means they must add to 180. Now I'm going to do some algebra to solve this equation. So you should get 9x equals 180. And then finally, you need to divide by 9 to get your final answer for x, which is equal to 20. Okay, but I need to find the two angles. So I'm going to plug that 20 into 5x and then plug that 20 into 4x to get the two supplementary angles. So 5 times 20 will give me the first angle, and I know that 5 times 20 is equal to 100. And then 4 times 20 is going to give me the second angle. But it says, the question says to determine the complement of the smaller angle. So looking at those two angles, 80 is the smaller angle. So to find the complement, I have to take 90 and subtract 80 to get my final answer, which is 10 degrees. Okay, now what I'd like you to do is please pause the video and try the last 3 examples on your own. When you are finished with all 3 examples, then press play to check your answers to each of the last 3 word problems. Now if you take a look at example 3, it says that 3 times the complement of an angle less its supplement yields 60. So make sure you put a subtraction symbol, because less means to subtract. Yields means equals. When you go ahead, double check to see that your initial equation is correct, and then check to see that you solved all the algebra correctly. So when you solve for x, you should get x equals 15 degrees. Okay, now here for example 4, when you go ahead and solve this equation, now this one says less than. So you're going to put 90 minus x minus 15 equals 1/4 180 minus x. And then you should get, when you solve that for x equals 40. And since it just says to determine the angle, that would be your final answer. Now for this last example, example 5, double check your equation. And then when you go ahead and solve that for x, you should get x is equal to 45 degrees. And it's okay, so hopefully after watching this video, now you have a better idea of how to set up complementary and supplementary word problems.